Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Leal in this incarnation. So today I wanted to talk about infidelity and respect. I think this is very important. Months ago, a person asked me how we can forgive an infidelity. And I already did a video talking about forgiveness. This is a decision. It's not a... it's a decision, but it's an important part of the path, And with forgiveness, I'm not talking about we have to keep staying with that person. But forgiveness is an important part because we're going to project that anger on other people. So I'm not going to talk about that because I already did that video, but I really want to understand that infidelity, to being unfaithful, it's something that we can do in many areas. We can do that without consciousness of that, in an unconscious ways. So when someone is being unfaithful, I mean, if my partner cheated and stayed with another person, it's very important to understand that that is a projection, and many of us could feel like we were the victims once, but that's not real at all. I'm going to put the example with the narcissists because they always stayed with other people. And that's because we are totally unfaithful to us in staying in a relationship that is totally abusive. So it's important to understand that we are not victims of that. I know it's painful to experience this, but it's always a projection in the mirror. So when a person is showing that projection, we have to go back to ourselves, to our center, and ask ourselves in which areas we've been unfaithful. For example, I could left all my hobbies and all the things I liked in order to put all the energy in the relationship. Or, for example, I started a relationship with someone that it's not aligned with my core values. I always give this example, but if I want to have family, for example, I want to have kids, but I start a relationship with a person that doesn't want that, I am putting I'm building something that from the basis it's not aligned with what I want. We are not sharing the same project, so I'm not respecting myself if I am keep putting the energy there, while I know that that person want to have kids. So it's very important to understand that we can be faithful and unfaithful in many ways. We can stop to taking care of ourselves. For example, this happens a lot in relationships of many years, that many people doesn't take care from themselves anymore, from their body or the way they see, the way they look. Sorry. And I am not talking about this in a superficial way. I'm only saying that it's important to take care, to give us the correct nutrition, to give us the best things as we can. It's not the way we look, it's the way we take care of ourselves. So other way we could be unfaithful is, for example, to stay in a conversation that the other person is complaining every time that it's not good for us. And there's many times that we could be in a tough situation, and we could complain. I think it's important to not project the complaining to other people. If we do that, I think we have to let ourselves 5 minutes to stay there, because if we keep staying in the role of victim, it won't help, because every time we stay there, we are giving our power away, and we are not when we take responsibility, we are saying to ourselves that we can change that situation, that we can do something, or maybe we can change that from the outside, but we can change something from the inside in order to go through that situation. Sorry. So it's very important to always come back to the responsible co-creator. You know, it's our adult part, but many times this inner child that is wounded can flourish. So it's important to embrace it too. But when we are staying with people that doesn't do that, that it's always complaining, that if we surround with people like that, that is talking about us, of course. But not only that, we are not giving nutrition to our mind, we're not giving nutrition to ourselves. So if we stay in a conversation that the person is talking that way, for example, and we are like, we are not respecting ourselves if we are really trying to do a labor with that, the inner work, you know. So other form of being unfaithful could be to share with people that it's not in our same frequency, that we already feel, and we deny it because we have, of course, we do these things because of our wounds, because of our fear of being in abandonment. But it's important to understand that the soul knows, have these wishes, these elevated wishes, and the soul knows what we can reach. That's why the soul is always pushing us to keep evolving, because we really can we have a great potential, and every time we are stepping in our power, we are reaching that. So when we deny that many people it's not in our frequency, and we force ourselves to stay in those places, we are being unfaithful to us. So many times it's very important to choose ourselves. Maybe that means to stay alone for a while, and then we can share with people that can give this nutrition and backwards, and we give that nutrition to these people. You know, it's not only about the when I did the music or the music video, when I was talking about the music from an spiritual perspective, I was talking about how films, how the music, how everything we consume is it's like food, you know, for our mind, for our thoughts. So this is the same way. So if we keep staying with people that are vibrating and complaining, it's not going to help to change our reality, you know, if we really want to be responsible. So I mean, all of these things are very important, because if we don't respect ourselves, no one will, and this will show on the outside. And a little example of this, a simple example, this is something that happened to me years ago when I was in my lowest point, in my darkest hour, and I was very unfaithful to myself, and I had this belief that men were evil and bad people. So when I went out to the street, it happened that men said words to me that were unrespectful, and I was that angry. And at first I couldn't defend myself, because it was very difficult for me to self-affirm. I had to work on that, and I'm still learning. But then I started to answer, but it was like no good to insult people many times, and that of course didn't change anything. And what I really wanted it was that the situation disappeared. So I understood. I started my spiritual journey and my spiritual path, and I realized years ago that that totally changed, because I changed. You know, I started to be faithful to myself. I started to be faithful to my soul path. So what those people were showing to me is that I wasn't respecting myself, you know, in many ways. So I am talking about how can something manifest in the outside, and it's not about reclaiming other people to behave differently. Of course, they could get better, you know, everybody could behave better, but we can only focus on ourselves and to change ourselves. So if we change our the inner self, we can modify the reality, and that's an example of that. So and this is contagious, you know, when you start your spiritual journey and people see you better, they want to start their own many times. So this is the very lead by example, you know. It's that kind of situation. So it's important to understand that if we don't respect ourselves, nobody would do that. In fact, they are going to show us the way we don't respect ourselves, and it's okay if we deal with situations like that. We are not something that we have to fix. We are something that we have to embrace. We are something that we have to you know, there's parts of ourselves that are denied simply, and we have to bring it to consciousness. That's all. We are not broken people, you know. In fact, I mean, because many of us, we have to work this from zero. Many other people have these things more integrated because of their education or their type of culture, or the family in way in where they have grown, but but you know, the people that emanates respect, I think it is because of their level of consciousness many times. Because when someone emanates respect, it is because it seems that they can see much more. They can see everything, you know. These masters, these gurus, I mean, these people that reach higher levels of consciousness. And again, I'm not trying to measure or compare, you know, but they emanate that because they are people that are simply and transparent too. So they can recognize many things in other people. So many times people could feel like they are naked, you know, and that this is what is happening actually in this planetary process. I think as the light is entering, everything will be exposed. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. I think we are going to embrace more parts of ourselves, and we won't have fear of showing ourselves in that parts. Because if we have fear, or we are ashamed, it is because we are not accepting that parts of ourselves. So I'm ending the video here. Thank you, everybody, and see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.